All right. I talk about the scripting of things a lot, and I think there's plenty of evidence to support that hypothesis. However, I want to go over something that kind of stretches the limits of what might be portrayed as something being scripted. I'll just play this so you can see what I mean. This is Fernando MendOZa. He is about to be the first pick in the upcoming NFL draft. This is him at a Miami football camp in 2019. He grew up a mile away from the University of Miami and was a lifelong fan. He went to high school here. I believe he's a sophomore in high school in this interview. So I'll just play it.
I needed to shorten my release point a little bit and just gave me a couple other coaching points, but other than that, a lot of good stuff.
Fernando, tell the truth, man. You like playing quarterback?
Yeah, of course.
Why?
I mean, it's fun, it's cool, and just always have a great time on the field, the adrenaline and everything.
What's fun about playing quarterback? Everybody wants to hit you.
I mean, just run away from them.
Run away from you fast?
I'm a pro scout, I can still get out there. Yeah, I feel like pretty good and had a really good showcase.
Fernando,
Seems like a totally ordinary interaction, right? Seems like a normal kid talking about football. The pleasantries of these vapid media interviews are taking place. Nothing more to it than that, right? Well, watch what comes on the screen here.
you're pretty tall, man. How tall are you?
I'm 6'2" and about
It just so happens that Fernando MendOZa is wearing a jersey at this Miami football camp with the number 119. He then goes on to eventually play in the national championship game on January 19th, 119, against Miami. What are the odds of that? What do I even do with that? Okay. I mean, is this a genuine coincidence? You know, something that just happened to this kid? Where he's at the Miami football camp. He grows up there, lives in the area, goes to high school near the university, and he gets assigned 119 and then eventually plays Miami in the national title game on 119. And Donald Trump is at this game. Donald Trump goes to this game. Obviously having his own association to 9/11, 11/9, 6/11, and 11/6, in all the ways that they have reordered that basic structure to fit with his personification of the event in New York on September 11th. Interestingly, Donald Trump has this association to the number 22 that I'm still trying to figure out. But Fernando MendOZa was 22 years old when he started in this game and won it, wearing the Indiana on his jersey and wearing the trident on his helmet. Now, Indiana also has a state flag with a torch on it. The Indiana state flag, adopted in 1917, features a gold torch on a blue field representing liberty and enlightenment. 19 gold stars symbolize Indiana as the 19th state to join the Union. They end up playing this game on the 19th of January. And I bring this up because, like I said, Fernando MendOZa is about to become a Las Vegas Raider, and Las Vegas is the stadium that has the torch in it. So Fernando MendOZa will be playing his home games under the torch. I just did a video on that relating to the Prince William ritual from the Super Bowl halftime show that was held here a couple years ago. So there's that whole angle to it as well. But you have Fernando MendOZa, who played for Indiana, was in this game on 119, which has the torch state flag, and he will now be playing in a stadium with a torch. And remember, the finale of Stranger Things aired just a couple weeks before this game took place. And that whole show is transpiring in Hawkins, Indiana. It's all about the two worlds that were merging through an interdimensional bridge. And that's the whole thing, right? That is the Donald Trump subconscious propaganda, the Golden Gate Bridge. Then, on top of that, speaking of bridges, there's the torch in France that was on top of the tunnel where Princess Diana, William's mom, died in an alleged car accident. And this is the torch that the Statue of Liberty in the United States is taken from. It was a gift from France. And Diana, of course, is associated with the moon in mythology. So in Diana is in moon. Every time you see that word, subconsciously, it's the moon. And of course, we're dealing with the moon child here, right? Donald Trump. So Fernando MendOZa ends up with this 119 jersey at a Miami football camp. He later plays in a game, the biggest game in college football, the national title game. Donald Trump is there. And it's on 119. Indiana is playing Miami. Diana and the moon. Okay? Diana and the torch. Indiana with the torch flag. Stranger Things with the subconscious torch ritual, as it were, right? That was sort of placing all of this front and center before the culmination in this football game. Symbolically speaking, anyway. And now, Fernando MendOZa is about to go play in the Torch Stadium in Paradise, Nevada. And I forgot to mention in the last video I did on this subject that this torch is known as the Al Davis Memorial Torch. He used to be the owner of the Raiders. And this goes back to the O.J. Simpson stuff where he was in the back seat of the white Bronco, which is the first horse of the apocalypse, and his friend Al was driving the car or the horse. Symbolically, it's Al AI because the lowercase L and the uppercase I are the same. So Al is AI, and this is the Al Davis torch. It's the AI torch. There's the whole thing. It's the Moonchild ritual interacting with the AI torch. And like I said in that video on Donald Trump and Prince William, it's like they're playing off against each other because Trump is the moon child born under a total lunar eclipse blood moon, and William is the sun child born on the summer solstice. So there's the whole idea of the great American eclipse and the moon child eclipsing the sun and then the sun coming out after the fact. This stadium with the AI torch is in Paradise, Nevada. And guess where the AI in the show Paradise is located? Well, it's located under the blue Mustang, the horse that is outside of the Denver airport. I'm going to do a video on Paradise, I think, because there were a couple things that I noticed in there, but I don't want to get into that in this video, so I'll just leave it there. Just another connection to the AI torch in Diana, the moon child, and Project Stargate, right? And the 9/11 ritual, which is the Golden Gate Bridge. It's functioning on so many different levels. It's the Golden Gate in your mind that's being opened, this portal into another dimension, this fusion with AI, at the same time that it's the actual metaphorical opening of the Golden Gate in Jerusalem as that relates to the return of the Messiah, as that potentially relates to the scripting that has been infused into Trump and William in terms of how this will all play out in the future. Fernando MendOZa was clearly chosen to play out some of these themes symbolically through first his college career, and now obviously his NFL career will surround it as well, because he's going to continue the torch resonance from Indiana to Las Vegas, to Paradise, as Paradise then relates to the new world that will be created by the return of the Messiah. Anyways, I just wanted to do a quick video on that. Pretty wild stuff, but I'll leave it there.